All right, I'm Davey Fridayii from the South Side of Chicago, and I'm here with my friends at Coldhands magazine. Growing up in Chicago was cool. I had a really protective mother and a really lackadaisical father, so 5 days out of the week I was getting that good discipline, and the weekends I got to be a little more expressive. Going to Catholic school from my entire time being in school, it kind of shelters you from a harsh reality of Chicago when you're a kid, and I'm kind of blessed to have been able to go to one of those decent schools, but that in itself shapes you, and being a part of Chicago and still having to move into society outside of that, it really makes you it gives you a little two sides of a coin. On one hand, I grew up in the hood, all my family's always lived in the hood, I've always been in the hood, but on another hand, I got to be protected from that. I didn't have to deal with the harshness that it could have been. So that was cool. Thank you to my mother and father for that. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. When my mother and my father split, I spent a lot of time on low end of Chicago, and I spent a lot of time in the hundreds. That was two fun atmospheres. You see a lot of change as time goes on, but when I was a shorty, like just running around hooping in the hundreds was the best thing that I could ever do. Riding my bikes all around Jeffrey Manor was lovely. Just me and my brothers, and sometimes my younger sisters and stuff. Chicago, it really dives into your DNA, like rewrites your whole everything, your personality, extrudes Chicago. I haven't been out of the city much, but when people from other cities come in and talk to me, I'm like, man, I can tell you from Chicago. What part of Chicago are you from? And that just lets me know that the influence this big, beautiful city has on my spirit. When I left DePaul for trouble, stay out of trouble kids, I was just looking for something to do. Like, you kind of disappointed in yourself from having to be suspended from university, but you still got that hunger when you were in university doing your schoolwork. So how do you substitute that? I was always good at drawing, but I never was confident enough to start playing with colors. So I told myself, well, let's see if we can develop that and get that good. And me being the person I am, I focus and I lock in. And once I locked in, it was like I felt like Russell Westbrook trying to be the captain he is now. Like I want to be that in painting, so I got pretty decent at it. Most of my time went to actually researching other painters, trying to figure out what makes painting good. You see a lot of people paint, you see a lot of people draw. It's a fabric of society. I feel like people love artistry, and a lot of people want to emulate that, but what separates the average hobbyist from the professional? So I spent a lot of time looking up classic painters like Van Gogh, the cliche big names like I said earlier, Salvador Dali and Claude Monet and George Condo and all of these, big name artists who were avant-garde and implemented a style that revolutionized their time period. What made them do that? How'd they tick? How did Leonardo da Vinci become who he is? So 400 years later, people still talk about him in regular conversation. I think a lot about trying to develop that. That's what most of my time went, trying to just research. Trial and error. I've ruined hundreds of brushes, literally hundreds of brushes. I'm talking $300 going down the drain, just being immature with your paint. But some things you want to be disciplined in, some things you want to go read about and research about, and other things you want to just dive into. So I really learned the technique just from jumping in the field and going to war. So I started off with acrylic. That's just like the easy get to know paint. If I had to pick a painting medium, I'd rock with oil, but I really like to think of myself as more than just a painter, really, because when I think about it, I mix so many medias in my artistry. So it goes from charcoal to ink. I paint with wine sometimes. I use oil pastels, soft pastels, and you will literally see a blend of all of that in most of my best work. So if I had to pick a painting medium, it'd be oil. If I had to pick a medium, in itself, I go with pencils and charcoal. So you have like the people that kind of forced their inspiration on you, like Pablo Picasso is one of the most talked about artists of all time. So you know about Pablo Picasso from a young age, so you already get that influence. And being from Chicago and being young, you are forced that Kanye West influence. Like you pay attention to Kanye West. Like Kanye West introduced me to one of my favorite painters of all time, George Condo, on that My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy project. But when I'm personal influences and people that I've found seemingly under a rock, I always say there's a gentleman, I think out of Oregon, named Glenn Ronald, he calls his style, he calls himself the Chaos Whisperer. It's like this real, just fluid, but real meticulous, innovative ass style, and I really gravitate towards that. And then like musicians, I love Sade and just her ambient, smooth sound, you know, just that feeling that it puts your body in. You know, I transfer that feeling from the music to my body, from my body to the medium. And you know, you can see that in my pieces too, that real laid back, ambient. I'm not asking for attention, but I'm still commanding it because it's powerful, and I like that type of music and I like that type of artistry. So that's a real big influence to me. I want to be like a local politician, you know, influencing my community just so kids got food to eat. You know, we got schools you can go to and learn some programs so they can go and be an artist if you want to and not have to be, you know, a worker bee. A year from now, should everything work out perfectly well, I'd be at Parsons in my design program, living in New York City, soaking up a bunch of knowledge so I can run back to the Chi and give all my gifts to whoever wants to take these gems. But I'm trying to go out to New York next year and snatch up all these gems if possible. If not, if I'm staying in the go, just be a more prominent painter. You know, keep putting the same work ethic that I have now, keep doing shows, and just keep being happy. That's all I need. If you think painting is a waste of time, I encourage you to find that thing that makes you want to get hungry for it. If painting's not for you, I get that. But if you are a painter and you're struggling with if you want to cultivate your talent, I say just keep learning about it. Keep thinking about it, keep putting your heart into it. And I don't mean going all out, quitting your day job, but make time for it, practice it, and cultivate. Because once you, and not even just with painting, with anything that you do, if you put forth that step, it's gonna come so easily. So, it's love. Follow me on Instagram, Davey Fridayii, Davey Fridayii too, because I'm just like my dad. My Twitter should be the same name. I change it a lot. I think that's it. If you want to see me on Snapchat, that's when I'm at my coolest. It's Davey Hines, Daveyhines. Thank you.